Hello, welcome to the second. I'll just take this hat off. Share my screen. So, hello. So, welcome to the second briefing online. This was project number 2. It's 5 weeks in length, and the project title is Brand Extension and Brand Partnership. The model is GR2221. So this 5-week project is a brand extension partnership exercise and is designed to extend your understanding of brands. What is a brand? What does a brand stand for? What are its values and aspirations? And what is its history? And what is its story? Now, as a student of graphic design, understanding these questions are core to understanding how any or given brand functions, what space it lives in, and how it projects itself and the ways it could possibly eventually creatively develop in the future. Now, this is happening all the time around you. All brands, whether they are goods, businesses, organisations, charities or even individuals, have a set of brand values, assets and personalities. This project is designed to explore these values, assets and personalities and deepen your understanding of brands and branding in general. A good solution to this creative problem will also provide you with a good folder piece for potential placement. So the brief. Well, you're asked to choose a brand from the list provided with a view to creatively extending and developing it. This can be done in a whole host of ways. And the following presentation highlights several successful examples created by past students and also a range of professional examples to analyse, learn from and refer back to. So please refer back to this film at any point in time, replay it if you're a bit uncertain of anything. So that's the brand list of brands to choose from. As members of staff, we come up with that. I think there's about, I'm not too sure, 30 to 40 on there. These brands are quite established, most of them. Some are heritage, what we call heritage brands. They've been known for quite a long time. And they're all hyperlinked, so on this PDF you'll be able to have a quick look at the histories and then go to their websites, things like that. But I want you to find out more about them as well, in order to basically choose one that you think you might want to work with and somehow extend. Please don't go off the list. I think there's enough there to choose from. There are a whole variety of interesting companies. So this brief can be tackled in several different ways. For example, you may find a solution based on an interesting fact or connection when researching your brand's history. You may want to produce a limited edition solution based on a significant anniversary. You may find a solution based on a celebration or significant date in the calendar. Or you may also create a solution by exploring brand partnerships based on a connection or shared commonality. Now I'm going to show you examples that cover all of those and more, so to give you an idea of what I'm actually talking about. But whatever you choose to do with your chosen brand, it must be underpinned by a clear connection you've made by your research. And all your subsequent development must then be based on a series of well-informed design decisions, something we talked about in the first year. Well-informed design decisions, not uninformed design decisions. So, some examples of past solutions to this exercise. Number 1, Fairy. I think everybody's familiar with Fairy Liquid, the iconic green Fairy Liquid. Now, the students who did this through their research found that statistically, over the Christmas period, UK households wash up 20% more, or use 20% more washing up because the families at home are celebrating and eating together. Now, that's really what this whole solution is based on, literally that statistic. So the students thought, well, hold on a minute, let's have a 20% larger bottle in the shape of a Christmas tree. And with the green fairy as well, the liquid that helps create the look of the tree. So they designed the shape of the bottle, but also the label as well, which I'll come on to. So the assets. So there's a clever seasonal strapline that they came up with. The Christmas sparkle lasts longer with fairy. Combined with a visual twist of the baby, the fairy baby, into a seasonal cherub. So therefore it's got little wings and it's got a little kind of star on a stick, and also it's got a halo. But also the label's cleverly adapted to be a bauble as well, with a little shine on there, and the royal warranty on the top mimics the Christmas, not the Christmas, sorry, it mimics the way that they look up. I just want to pop out of this for a second and share the screen with little film. So yeah, so what they also did was this, which was create a short little animation with it in situ as well with the snow on a digital billboard. So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, go back to the presentation. There we go. So yeah, that was that one. So number 2, crown paints. How could crown paints celebrate the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? So this is taking the brand on an occasion like the royal wedding. There's a connection there with Crown, obviously, with the monarchy. But what this solution does is it produces a limited edition range of specially mixed colours based on the actual outfits that the wedding guests wore on the day. There was a lot of media attention to what everybody was wearing at weddings and things like that, and the colour of the outfits that the guests were wearing. So the assets were the Crown logo, which was cleverly changed into 2 rings, symbolising the marriage. But also the paintings were designed with close crops of the wedding outfits in appropriately named colours. And this is maybe the Queen in the centre, who was wearing a line, and the Harry and Meghan either side of what they were wearing, the colours they were wearing, the royal blues and the ivory sparkle. And then the A-lister ochre, which was, I think, I don't know whose wife it was now, I think it was, got his name, but Hollywood actor, his wife was wearing an ochre top. And then obviously the Royal Guards, the courtly red. But all these are named by the student to do that. So here we have an example of a close-up, really nicely crafted. And there's the Queen as well. So that shows the top of the lid as well. So that's a good example there. For example number 3, how could Heinz extend their brand to coincide with Valentine's Day? Well, answer, by using clever copywriting. This whole solution is based around a little bit extra saucy. The student came up with that. The concept of 3 different sized, 3 different formats. So the bottle, the squeezy bottle, Squeeze Me Baby, the traditional glass one with the Spank My Bottom, which is from the advert, and also Rip My Top Off, which was from the sachet. But also what I like to highlight in this as well, you might not have noticed this, but I've pulled it out to make a point. The assets of the actual tomato illustration slightly changed to make the tomato look like a heart shape. This brand was also kind of these examples again of what I was on about, the extra saucy and the copywriting that went with them. But the student also extended the brand idea in store with the shelf warblers and stickers. So are you checking me out? Which is nice wordplay as well. Or I'm coming home with you tonight. So again, just keeping the extra saucy, little kind of idea going, but all really based around copy, but also the brand and Valentine's Day. Colgate. Well, again, the student's solution was statistically based around the fact that children consume more sweets around about the Halloween period than any other time of year. Obviously, it's not good for your teeth. So the following design concept is a concept of Colgate toothpaste would basically try and bring out around about that period a series of toothpaste packaging. So the solution was spooky spearmint, so appropriate imagery and illustration style with a musing combination, making it fun and engaging for children, and the time to be in the supermarket shelves around Halloween. Now, obviously, the teeth connection is with Dracula and the werewolf and the witch, so really nice. But the student, obviously, I think I need to point at this point in time, these are illustrations done with cutting out paper, and the student illustrated these as well, which is really nice as well. So it's not found illustration, she's actually created these and developed them, and these are pack illustrations. So again, once you've got those, you crops in on them, and also there's 3 different flavours: monstrous mint, petrifying peppermint, and spooky spearmint. And also a bedtime rhyme on the reverse of the packet adds to the charm and invites further interaction with the brand. So there's a little kind of a nice little trick-or-treat rhyme there that the student came up with on the back. I will read it out, but you'll be able to have a look at it yourself. But also, I think, just bearing in mind what I'm showing you here is the student took the photographs of them off the portfolio. So these are solutions at the end of this project, and also basically when they've been polished for the portfolio a little bit further on. But they're really nicely photographed, so and also ordered as well in the presentation. Now, Twinings Tea, very old brand. Its anniversary was 100 years. This was about 2 years ago now. 100 years of the women's suffrage movement, suffragettes. The connection here, through the students' research, she found out that basically the women's suffrage movement and the direct action that they took was all planned, formulated in Edwardian tea rooms, because at the time women didn't go to, they were closeted really, go to pubs or anything like that, or go out, the kind of tea rooms where they met. So therefore, the connection there with tea and the suffrage movement was made. So the solution is a lovely visual twist where the teacup and the saucer flip to become a fashionable lady's Edwardian hat. And also there's a name twist with classic Earl Grey tea, which becomes Lady Grey tea as well. So what I'll do is here, I'll just try and show you the little film. So share this with you. Now this is from the disciples, and this student also did this little animation as well. So I'll just play that. From the tea rooms of Oxford Street to the rallies of Downing Street. So there you have the Twinings celebrating 100 years of women's suffrage. So the saucer and the cup, how this twist round to actually show the cup is really nice. So colourways as well, really nice, black and gold and yellow. Now the story beginnings of the women's suffrage movement and its relationship to tea is explained on the side of the tin as well. It's nicely crafted type, classic sort of scented for that sort of era, and also using typography from the Edwardian era as well. So the brand story is told on the tin as well on the side. What's also nice about this is the tea sachets. So this tea comes in individual sachets inside the tin. Through the research, the student also found in the archives of the women's suffrage movement these fantastic cartoons and nursery rhymes that were adapted, classic nursery rhymes adapted to the women's suffrage movement. So this seemed an ideal thing really to actually reappropriate and put on the tea sachets. It's a really nice game. So it's not just the kind of, what you have there is a story told through the brand identity, through the tin and through the contents as well. This is another one which is very similar. This was HP Sauce, classic heritage brand, old brand, Houses of Parliament sauce. So there's a connection there already with the women's suffrage movement. This one's slightly different, but a little bit less publicised. That the student found out that through research that it was in 100 years since women were allowed to actually stand as MPs as well, not just voting but also standing as a member of Parliament. So, the solution here is basically to celebrate that, but bring it on the bottles, trying to basically represent a march, a protest march, with sort of a wording on the banners, the vote for women MPs, 100 years of women's voting. But what's really nice about this solution is the colours and the brand colours are kept on brand, and how it works across three bottles. So it's shelf, what we call it shelf present. So on a shelf, it looks like there's a little protest running along the bottom of the bottles. So nobody in view, but just the placards held above the head, which is really nice. But also in the 360 degrees, so looking at the two sides of the bottle as well. So the idea kind of like continues onto the little barcode here, and also kind of like the explanation of exactly what the brand idea is about, really, which is really nice. And then, just showing the attention to detail, really, and the artwork, what we call the artwork, of how this would have been done. So the students taken the label off the bottle, measured it, scanned it in, and worked out how that would come about. Example number 7, Ireland Spring Water. This solution is another celebration, our anniversary. I think it's roughly around about the 90th anniversary of the inception of Highland Spring Water up in Scotland. So this student did some research and decided to basically couple up the heritage of the Highland Games. Highland Games are how we take part in summer up in the Braemar and around that area in Scotland. And we've also caber tossing and things like that, and all those kind of sort of things. Scottish. So, and also looking at the clan family names, the traditional Scottish clans and tartans. So by looking into that, and then the student came up with 6 of the most popular names, the Armstrongs, McGregors, the Fletchers, the Douglases, the Wallaces and the Bruces, and created a little bit of icons for each one. So Armstrong's obviously the strong arm, Fletcher's an arrow maker, Clan McGregor was known for sword fighting, and etc. etc. So these little icons, creating these assets, then are used on the labels, along with basically the clan name and the clan tartans. So what you have there is an idea that maybe a limited edition for a period of time for that year or that season, Highland spring water bottles with the different clans on as well. So each label, so you can see the Highland Games, 6 clans of Scotland, limited edition, 90 years, Clan McGregor, and the Scottish thing. And what's nice of the Scottish thing, the symbol from the McGregor clan. Sorry. What's nice about it as well, it was a peel-back label, so you could peel back and find out the story of the clan and the tartan as well. And also there was a slight humorous twist there to what's under the Scotsman's kilt. And then the student extended these onto basically promotional posters. By finding some old photography of some old Scottish lairds or whatever, and then reappropriated them. So this is Hamish McGregor, Haggis Hurling champion in 1907. So you can see how the label from the bottle is used on the poster. A couple more here, Fergus and Angus. So really nice kind of like, brand extension. Example number 8. Well, we're on to professional ones now. This is by an international design agency, founded packaging agency called Bainbridge. In London, Amsterdam, and New York. Creative director Claire Parker is an ex-Preston student, so she's often done talks at conference week. But this is something done by them. This is a classic Tate and Lyle tin. I think maybe most of you would recognise that. The label hasn't changed very much from the past 100 years. But so how could you extend a brand like this and keep it alive and keep it interesting? So these solutions are based around sort of significant dates in the calendar and anniversaries. Now, because of the royal warranty, and anything with a royal warranty on it means it's been endorsed by the royal household over the past 100, 200 years. So therefore, for a product on a royal warranty, it means that basically it's used within the royal household. So this is a happy and glorious, long to reign over us. So after 60th Diamond Jubilee celebrations for the Queen, Bainbridge extended the Tate and Lyle brand by producing this limited edition range of syrups. And as you can see, really beautifully crafted, turning the traditional existing label by tweaking it to create a crown and happy and glorious. They did this again for Trick and Treacle. Tate and Lyle also do treacle. Obviously, treacle toffee around about Halloween and Bonfire Night is a very popular kind of toffee, and so therefore the sales go up around at that time. So Trick or Treacle, but using the pumpkin and changing the design like that. So appropriate wordplay. What was nice about this, and this is a concept, I was told this by Claire, it never really happened, but it was a really nice idea because these are tins, by the way, so this concept that once you'd finished the treacle, you could wash it out, and you'd be encouraged to cut out where the eyes, the nose, and the mouth are. Put candles in them, so to create kind of like decorative garden candles for the evening, which is really quite nice as well. Which again, the idea of basically putting candles inside pumpkins. Very clever concept. And these are 3 more they did. One for happy birthday to the Queen, 90th birthday, and barbecue summer again. Treacle, a glaze for barbecues, so they're a nice top of the barbecue opening up with the flames in it, and then the pancake one as well. So products again, we put the golden syrup on pancakes on Shrove Tuesday. So really nice kind of using the visual vernacular of the original tin and the typefaces and the colour, and just very, very subtly tweaking them. This is another one, professional one. I'll just, this is from Dana. This is what I mean really about you looking, and the more you look at some of the references I'm going to give you, the more you'll find examples of these brand extensions. This was Domino's. I'm not sure everyone's familiar with that. But this came about really again from another statistic. The fact was that 96% of Domino's pizzas are ordered in pairs. And also the problem was that most of the packaging was getting a little bit overcluttered with kind of the promotions and things like that. A very simple idea. This was done by a company called Jones Knowles Ritchie, JKR, very, very well-known design agency, massive design agency. But yeah, I think the idea speaks for itself really. Jägermeister, again, and probably another brand you're probably quite familiar with. Seemingly, again, this solution again is born out of a fact. It was Jägermeister seems best sort of served at -18. So based on that, it's quite cold. So these freezer pack or cool pack ideas, so that it led to the informed design decision of kind of, well, hold on, let's try and make the Jägermeister glass packaging, bottle packaging look like the cool packs you put in Eskies or cool boxes. So again, really nice kind of brand extension. And finally, this one, Lurpak butter. This is done by Pearl Fisher. How can Lurpak butter take its rightful place at the centre of the kitchen table? Well, butter is normally at the centre of the kitchen table with the kind of butter dish. So this is really quite a nice sort of a piece of packaging where the actual aluminium, the packaging of the Lurpak butter becomes the actual butter dish, for example. Deliciously authentic. We created a distinctive identity structure, parchment on the outer wrap to celebrate the butter in a novel way. So traditionally, butter was maybe more wrapped in kind of parchment, galvanising its position as an everyday premium food experience. So I'll let you read that anyway. So I'm just reading it, but yeah. So that's kind of like that's another example professionally. So I've shown you some student ones, and I've shown you some professional ones, and I encourage you to find more. But these are interesting ones that you can actually sort of analyse and learn from. And when you look at them, they're all sort of stem from a really, really, really interesting insight found out by by the designer in order to be able to extend the brand a little bit. So we're going to have a comfort break at the moment. So I'm going to be back in 5 minutes because there's sort of 2 parts to this presentation. Okay. Thank you for